said I quit, Monty.
Ooh, yeah. It's your boy Marz, a.k.a. Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, the Stella Rhodes, the Casanova, a.k.a. the Bearded One, with my man, my wise man, the one and only Big Gerald. And normally we're the hottest hot tag team in pro wrestling podcast, but we're making this a triple threat match today. We have a special guest, my brother Kyle Jones, who is a complete novice to what's currently going on. He probably last week where Hulk Hogan had the yellow trunks on. He's going to give us a dope perspective. He's also the founder of Blow the Whistle Sports and the Kyle Jones Sports Unfiltered. And since sports and entertainment have meshed together in this beautiful union, we figured it'd be no one better to join us on today's episode. But before we get into it, fellas, how the hell are you doing on this fine evening as we record tonight?
I'm good. I'm ready to learn.
Man, I'm just glad that y'all got all the code that I've been had. Boy, look at here, I needed that gone.
Yeah, well, I wish you take it back. I want to send that back, return to sender, because even though I'm on the East Coast, I like to dress like I'm where Cal's located, wearing my shorts and my Crocs, and right now I'm about to put on the Long Johns.
Yeah, it was only 75 today.
Man, F you, and go to hell. Only 75. Can I take him off this podcast already?
I'm clout chasing. I'm clout chasing off of y'all.
Son of a bitch. Let me introduce the crew. Of course, like I said, it's me, your boy Marz, a.k.a. Marlon Beardo. I got my man, my wise man, Big Gerald. There he is right here on social media if you want to look him up. And, of course, my brother Kyle Jones. So that's our social media. Do yourself a favor. Go check us out. We've got so much content for you guys, and we're ready to get into it. So this is episode dos of the Two Horseman Podcast. And, guys, we want to thank you. At this point, you've already watched episode 1. You've already saw the Royal Rumble. Hopefully our predictions have come true. And now we're going to be talking about some other major developments that's going on in pro wrestling right now. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to pull up our first little article. Raw is going to Netflix. I never thought I'd see the day where pro wrestling would be on a streaming channel exclusively, but damn it, January 1st, 2025, Raw makes a move after, how many years on USA Network?
Probably 31.
Jesus Christ. Now, they've left USA before. I remember they went to TNA back in the mid-2000s and then came back home to USA. And what do you think this means for the landscape of pro wrestling? Big Gerald, we'll start with you.
I think that they're trying to grow it to get to a more broader audience, and that's weird to say since USA is a linear station. With Netflix, you got to have a subscription so they cover those bases, and then they can push their live events just like a Netflix special. I think it's a solid move. I think with someone we're going to talk about later on having ties to Netflix already, and a lot of his movies doing well over there, I think it's good. I think this is also one of those moves that'll make, as we used to say in the hood, that girl that lets you go miss you once you're gone. I think USA Network is going to take an extreme hit. I think they're going to have to reevaluate some of their financials, and after this contract with Netflix is over, they'll be back. They'll be back outside the window in the rain with the boombox up. Baby, come back! I'm trying to tell you,
yeah. So I mean, they're still going to have WWE on USA Network. It's just the flagship show is moving over to Netflix. But, SmackDown for the last part of a year or two has been the premium show to me. So I don't think USA is missing out. I think they, I don't know.
Ain't SmackDown on Fox though? Is it going to USA?
It's going to USA, yeah. So next year, Fox is losing the rights to SmackDown. I think Fox thought they were going to get a lot more ratings than they were. Because you remember when the deal first came out, they had the football
Right.
everybody and all the cross promotion and the synergy. And then Fox is kind of like, yo, this shit's not working for us. And they're just kind of letting them hit the road.
Okay. It's something about that 3-hour Raw, though.
3 hours is a long time. I don't want to do anything for 3 hours but take a nap. Kyle, what do you think about the TV rights? Is reported to be 10 years, $5 billion. Pretty hefty deal. Moving over to Netflix, though, that's strange. I never thought I'd see the day of really even a live event going on Netflix. So that's kind of weird home for me. What do you think about that move?
I was listening to Big Gerald. I don't agree with you, bro, about when this contract is up. I think this is going to change the game forever. You think about it. You get them on Netflix. Then WWE can add a plan like, if you pay a little extra, we'll let you get like a locker room view to get inside access, before like they come out. Like, you can do so much with all of this. I think it's going to change the game. You get probably no commercials. You don't got to worry about advertisements. Now you got a entertainment site. You can take your stars that wrestle. You can put them in movies on Netflix and just have straight to Netflix movies. I think this totally changes the game. It was a smart move by both people. I think it works for everybody. Sometimes USA can be hard to find. If you got like a regular cable package, you got to look through everything. You got to hope that it's on. Now you get to stream it when you want to stream it. I love the move. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think USA is gonna miss out. I think because this is a box for them. I just don't. When you think of USA Network, what do you think about? Wrestling and lawn order marathons. That's it. I don't go to USA to watch movies with commercials. That's stupid.
And editing. I never forget I saw Child's Play and Chucky said, he was supposed to say effing, and he said, you gotta be crazy cat killing me. That was the word they decided to
Oh,
I couldn't even finish the rest of the movie. I was like, all right, turn this shit off. But I think you're absolutely right, both of you. I think it is a loss losing Raw because it is a flagship show. But at least they were able to pick up SmackDown at a more, I believe they're paying $287 million a year to broadcast SmackDown. So it's more of a favorable, cost-effective deal for USA to still have WWE affiliated with them. They can still compete. Because at this point, like Kyle said, you don't have to do it on Monday nights. You can do it whenever. You can do Raw whenever you want to. There won't be any commercials. When there's no sponsors, that probably means they're going to be going back to Attitude Era where,
I was about to say,
where you can say anything because you don't have to worry about sponsors. I think this for AEW is a huge kick in the pants because they're going to be able to offer commercial-free, ratings-free pro wrestling with the biggest and best superstars backed by the crossover of UFC because it's just a moment. I feel UFC is TKO Holdings. Remember, it's one company now, WWE and UFC. I think that WWE is going to be the guinea pig because their TV rights were up. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is successful, which I think it will be, to see UFC and everything all in one big hub on Netflix.
Ooh.
They got to do
I
something.
may even watch.
$30 a month is getting expensive, brother.
Well, Netflix can be able to raise their prices now. I mean, you start bringing live events. I think this benefits everybody, man. I love this move.
Yes, it's extremely smart move. Like I said, it's hard to compete with that package. And we know the Rock's relationship. If you go to Netflix right now, Rock's got about 67 movies on Netflix. Can't say any of them are any good, but he has them up there. So I think that's going to be some good synergy. And like you said, I could see John Cena going to Netflix, dropping some movies right over there. Roman Reigns when he's ready to wrap up his career. It's just a perfect little pipeline. for both of them. All right, man. Good shit, Kyle. You knocked the home run on that one. So, moving to the next topic, The Rock is now the head of the table. He said it tongue in cheek, but he may have really meant that. For those who aren't aware, oops, sorry, wrong click. I don't have my
I
glasses.
was like, that's The Rock.
He lost some weight.
Oh,
There we go.
Rainmaker.
So, twofold deal. Not only is he on the board of directors, out of 13 men, the board of directors of the merged company. And remember, this is board of directors of WWE and UFC, which is huge. But he also got the rights to his name. For those who don't know, The Rock obviously is not his birth name. His first name's not the last name Rock. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. But he had a co-ownership deal with him in WWE that allowed him to use that name even in movies, merchandise. But now, obviously, part of the deal, which I'm sure for him to bring his power, I'm sure this is going to include a couple matches. I'm sure it's going to include, obviously cross promotion on a broad scale with the biggest, movie star in the world right now. But also that name, The Rock, that's going to be something that he owns now that he'll be able to pass down to his family for the, image and likeness. That's a huge deal for him. Huge deal for the TKO Holdings Group to have a superstar the caliber of The Rock now literally permanently being affiliated with WWE.
So,
Go ahead, Gerald.
go ahead, Cal.
I don't know I don't know what to say about it. I guess it's good. How do you trademark The Rock? I mean, isn't that like a general term? I mean, so if I say I'm about to pick up,
A-Rock is a general term, but he's The Rock.
how about if I say I want to pick up The Rock? Like, can I get sued for that?
No,
I mean, can I say that?
I think only if you're using it in like wrestling purposes or entertainment purposes.
Right.
So how trademarks work, when you file out the trademark paperwork, you have to put what is it for? Like, is this for food? Is this for movies? Is this for film? Is this for? So it's not like he owns the word The Rock, but he owns the trademark, the nickname, everything.
So is The Rock? Is he still hot? I mean, like, are people still after The Rock like that?
Yeah, I
I
mean
ain't seen it.
that.
You got to think about it. He's still, and he's still one of the top 10 actors in Hollywood right now. He can go on any TV show he wants to right now, and ratings will skyrocket. Not only is he still a very charismatic character on screen, but the person Dwayne Johnson off screen, people love him, which is why they always want him to run for president. That's a whole nother story. There was a point in his career, you didn't know that they would have backed him as a Republican to run for president.
They asked him, they asked him. He has gone and spoken on both caucuses before, but they actually did a survey and they were like, The Rock beats Biden, The Rock beats Trump. Like, people would vote for The Rock right now over any of these candidates. But obviously he was like, I'm honored, flattered, but I like to be a father right now. And no, he don't want to turn up them $200 million Hollywood paychecks.
This is also true.
Wait
But I want to say that even though this story is about The Rock, the real winner in all of this, and this may be controversial, is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is an evil genius, and I'll explain myself. Besides being one of the top Hollywood wrestlers, Hollywood superstars, and one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet, what else is The Rock known for? Ownership. What are some of the things he owns? Zoa, Terramana. Well, Vince McMahon is an evil genius. The Rock also owns the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
What was one of Vince's biggest downfalls? that he tried to run when he first wanted to do football.
He failed 2 times with the XFL.
So how do you get control of the XFL all over again? Is if the owner is on your board. Now, not only do you get to have him sit side by side with you, you give him advice on the XFL. You go to all the games. You're back in control of the XFL because you're the executive director of the board that he sits on. Vince McMahon is well ahead of us.
So I got some questions. 'Cause I'm not well versed at this. I thought Vince McMahon sold a lot of stock in that company that he just brought out, so they can take power away from him.
Well, he did sell a lot of stock, but he still has his position on the board. And he is the executive of the board for TK Holdings as a whole. There's only one guy more powerful in that company than Vince, and that's Ari, I forgot his last name, who actually owns both groups. But Vince is on the he's higher than Dana White, he's higher than Nick Khan, he's higher than anybody on those companies. And now Rock becomes the 13th member on the board. But, Gerald is absolutely right. They're going to be commingling a lot of those projects together. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a XFL Hard Knocks version on Netflix. Like, the synergy and the ability to capitalize on these 3 juggernauts is really endless when you think about it. And of course, one of Rock's biggest mentors is Vince. You notice Rock didn't turn on him when all those allegations came forward. Rock was quiet. He didn't say anything negative about Vince. That's his boy. So I think you're on to something.
And check this out. Nick Khan has been fiercely behind Vince McMahon since he's been put with the WWE. Nick Khan's sister is also the executive producer of Young Rock. So Vince has always been by the Rock side without being by the Rock side. The reason that I guess, and they're merging it with the USFA, so now it's with the United Football League. He's going to be able to, like you say, be able to be influential to the Rock to move forward, but he don't have to have his face on it. He can be a part of the XFL without being part of the XFL, and people be like, "Well, Vince McMahon, it's genius." So you still got your hands in the pie without having to be the cook. I couldn't have scripted it better myself.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kyle.
So a couple of questions. Can they get oversaturated? Like, can they get too big where you merging all these things and you're just Xing out the competition? Because I stopped watching once WWF, well, I guess it's WWE now, pretty much brought out WCW and the competition stopped. And it felt like there was nowhere for them to thrive anymore because it was just them. It was no NWO or anybody to go against anymore to make their storylines better. So it got boring to me, so I stopped watching.
And I think a lot of us did. I always watch it just because it was almost like a habit. But there were years, I'm not going to say months, there were years where I was like, "Poof, this is a tough watch." Vince definitely lost his flavor. He lost his finger on the pulse, in my opinion, of what people wanted. And he was literally like a kid with his toys. And he instead of listening to the audience, he thought he was smarter than the audience because, let's give him credit. He built pro wrestling to the way it is. A lot of the pro fights, the UFC, a lot of that is straight off of WWE. A lot of the way that you see marketing, the Super Bowl is huge, but WWE now surpassed the Super Bowl as far as just a money making. Now it's like a week long experience. So he is a mastermind. I just think creatively he lost his touch, but Triple H has clearly been able to bring it back to really the pinnacle. I haven't been this excited about pro wrestling since the Attitude Era, and that says something.
Oh wow!
It's in
watching again.
Yeah. And really, when you think about it, there's a lot of these other wrestling promotions out. No one's still really holding a candle to the WWE. Like, AEW, they wanted to be WCW so bad that when you look at their product, it reminds you of that. But it reminds you of that without all the attitude, without all the ambition. Anybody that made AEW worth watching now resides in the WWE if they're not hurt. And so, the W is grown past, in your home television every week. The WWE is literally a sports entertainment business where, like you say, you got tired of watching the wrestling after a while. Man, they got all these documentaries. The documentary they did about Shawn Michaels was real good. It's just stuff as adults. Like we knew that, as kids, these were great wrestlers, but as adults, we can appreciate the fact that you telling how people were leaving matches to go and get out cocaine and having bar fights. Like they were your superheroes, but now you get to see them as an adult with big problems. So to me, it's like just get the best of both worlds. I want to say a lot of other promotions are seeing what the WWE is doing, and a lot of their top stars want to be a part of it, even if there's not enough show for all of them to be a part of. Just to say, man, I used to wrestle for the WWE, and I think we're going to talk about the one guy that left New Japan, but really there's nowhere else for anybody to go.
Yeah, the WWE at the end of the day, there's all the market. The independent market is huge. You have GCW, of course. You have Ring of Honor. You have New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can go over AEW, TNA. There's a lot more competition actually now than it was when it was just the big three of WWF, WCW, and ECW. And because of the ability for us to stream New Japan Pro Wrestling. Back when we were growing up, you had to trade tapes, or you have to know somebody that has a tape of this match, and maybe you rent it. But now you can see everything online. So while there's a lot more places to work and the wrestlers to earn money, it's actually smaller as far as everybody knows who everybody is now, because you can just go online and Google who this wrestler is, and then all their matches will come up and you can look at it. So you're absolutely right. It was definitely probably, let's see, WCW ended in 2001, I believe. And there was a huge gap, especially once they went PG, the Attitude Era ended. Some of those bigger stars like DX, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels started slowing down, and John Cena got extremely stale. I think he gets a lot of credit and respect now in retrospect, but for 20 years, that was never the way. Like, The Rock's whole WWE career was like 6 years. Like, Stone Cold's peak was like 4 or 5 years. Like, we've never seen someone like John Cena to have a 20-year run at the top, or someone like, in our lifetime, like Roman Reigns, the main event 4 or 5 WrestleManias in a row, back to back to back to back. It's different, and a lot of that has to do with Nick Khan. I think that's been their biggest hire, which a lot of people don't know. That's The Rock's childhood best friend. How interesting is that? Nick Khan, the COO of WWE, was The Rock's childhood best friend. So I mean, they've made it. They've come together, and it's going to be, if you're a pro wrestler, at the end of the day, like Big Gerald said, you want that on your resume, because now your price has just gone up for the rest of your career. Even when you leave WWE on independence or signings or anything, having that former WWE superstar on your name makes your price go up. It's like having a Academy Award or something.
Yep, and also it streamlines you to the title shot. I'll give you an example. Mercedes Moné, who used to be Sasha Banks, she left WWE right to the title shot in New Japan. Former Dolph Ziggler, he's in TNA now, and what's the first thing he do? He comes out and challenges the champion. He ain't had a full episode in TNA yet, and he's already at the champion. Like, just being in WWE and having a moniker, you could be a mid card. Dolph Ziggler was great. He was a mid card. Man, you are a superstar in TNA now because you used to be in the WWE.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That is something on your resume that they can't take away. It's like having a PhD or doctor by your name. Like, I earned that, damn it. Call me Dr. Marz. Please don't call me Dr. Marz. All right, so next, I want to talk about Kazuchika Okada. I know I pronounced that first name hella wrong. So I'm just gonna I felt it. So January 31st, his contract expires. He's been literally the Elvis of New Japan Pro Wrestling, probably the biggest free agent in the world. And it appears that not only is he WWE bound, but he may be starting off in NXT, which is like their that's for your neck of the woods, Kyle. That's their developmental program. So, what do you think about this? I mean, I feel like AEW gets bad news every single day. I know Tony Khan's probably like plucking his eyebrows out in frustration. But if this signing is true, what do you think that means for AEW and its hopes of ever catching up?
It means that they lose ground on every show, not only with Dynamite, but with Rampage and Collision, because they're top stars every night you want to go on TV. The Rainmaker said, instead of going to AEW and being the top star, I'm going to go to NXT. At Full Sail University in Orlando, and I'm probably going to be the champion within 60 days. Because he was the top star in New Japan. But instead of going to some kind of AEW, you go to NXT with Shawn Michaels. And you're going to start it. We're not even talking about SmackDown. We're talking about NXT. He's not even, he's not going to get there in time to do the Royal Rumble that we know of. But hey, Triple H has been making friends all over the world. That's still a possibility. He may show up in the Royal Rumble. Man, it's great to see, and I don't feel bad for Tony Khan. Tony Khan, he came out a couple years ago and said he was going to be different, and he's made every mistake Vince made from the beginning. It's like having the cheat codes in front of you and not reading the book in order to play the game. You still will end up the hill. This is wild, but this is why. I don't see AEW was a nice concept, but it was executed poorly, and I don't know how much longer it'll be around.
I mean, I know they're hemorrhaging money, and he's running it like he did the Jacksonville Jaguars, so that probably it gives you an idea, because the guy who owns AEW, his father owns the Jaguars. I know if you knew that, Kyle. But he keeps saying, "Oh, it's supposed to be an alternative," but my thing is, one of my dreams, my fancy dreams, if I just had endless money, I would probably partner or start a wrestling promotion. You've seen Billy Corgan do it with NWA. It's something that if you're a fan of it, you always think, I could be the fantasy booker, I can do that. But I think this is a situation where someone is micromanaging, and he has the best minds that aren't affiliated with WWE available to him that he can hire for creative, for production, and he chooses to do everything himself. And it's a reflection, because the thing I don't like with AEW, yes, the matches can be phenomenal and they're incredible, but at the end of the day, we know it's not real. It's just drama. This is fight choreography. So you got to have more than just an incredible match. Hulk Hogan couldn't, tell you a wrist lock from a wristwatch. Roman Reigns, John Cena does about 5 moves. Same thing with The Rock. You don't have to have an incredible assortment of crazy moves. You just have to be passionate and be able to, tell a story in that ring and have good ring psychology. And to me, Tony Khan just chooses to do everything himself. And it leads to him signing these big wrestlers. They're the biggest thing in the world for 3 months, and then they disappear. He's done with that toy. And there's a few people that he consistently, kisses up to: Chris Jericho, Danielson, Moxley, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. They're always going to be a part of the storyline. But there's a ton of wrestlers that are under his roster that you're like, what the hell's going on with these guys? So I think that's the biggest problem. He needs to humble himself and hire some of these resources out here to make his product better. But I don't know how long he's going to be able to last if WWE keeps throwing these knockout blows. They're throwing haymaker after haymaker. Rainmaker, haymaker, same difference.
That's it.
All right. So I want to cut to this clip. I have probably one of the best promos I've seen in a very long time. Something that I didn't even really have on the table. And it's going to lead me to the question that I'm going to ask on the Seth Rollins situation. So this all connects for this final topic. But let's take a look at this promo. All right, there it is. Went long because I wanted everybody to get the full synopsis of that promo. Great content. So it leads me to two-part question. So as we all know, or for those, Seth Rollins suffered an injury in a match that he probably shouldn't have been wrestling. This whole workhorse, that might be a whole nother topic depending on when he returns, but towards MCL, partially towards meniscus. They're talking 3 to 4 months on the shelf, although he swears that he will be going to WrestleMania no matter what his doctors say. He's going to be going to WrestleMania. So that leads me to part one of this two-part question. Do you think Seth Rollins should have been stripped of the title?
Yeah. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
So for me, he should have been stripped because when it comes to WWE and storylines and storytelling, Seth Rollins is by far one of the best wrestlers we have in the game so far. But it's a game. And the subject of that game is to make his title not seem secondary to Roman's title. Him holding on to it, no one's going to look at him the way they look at Roman. Roman can be off for 2 or 3 months, not have a match. But he has solidified himself as the needle mover, as he calls himself. Whenever he does have a match, people tune in to watch. You're out. You need to heal. Your belt, when they accepted your belt, it was already a secondary title. It was a world heavyweight champion light championship. It's not going to hold any substance. Now, I will say the way WWE is trying to set it up to where if he does make it to WrestleMania and Gunther wins the Royal Rumble, which I don't see that happening, he'll challenge him for the title. That would be a great match. Gunther is one of the best wrestlers by far when it comes to just technical style wrestling. And the thing with Seth Rollins is, even if that is the case, as we just saw, a promo between two wrestlers that just got back to WWE did more numbers than Gunther and Seth Rollins talking about it. People, if that would have been Gunther versus Roman Reigns, man, the number, we wouldn't be talking about that promo. Gunther versus Roman Reigns is a dream match. So Seth should have gave up the title so that way someone can keep it going and it will be fresh. Because now you're looking to see, well, okay, when is Seth coming back? Is he going to be on TV with a cast on every night or a brace on? No one wants to see that. We like Seth Rollins. No one wants to see that. To me, take a title, he come back, get healthy. Whoever wins his championship, now you got a storyline that rivals the bloodline one because, let's be honest, ain't nobody really talking about the bloodline other than Roman anyway.
Yeah. So, Cal, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Seth Rollins, WWE has 2 world champions. When we were growing up and we was looking at wrestling, you had your Stone Cold, he was a champ. You had your Rock, he was a champ. Triple H, he was a champ. Shawn Michaels was a champ. 1 champ. But since they've done the brand split, they've had 2 world champions. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. But right, it gets confusing. But then Roman Reigns won both titles, the Raw and the SmackDown title. But he's a part-time wrestler. He only wrestled 11 matches in 2023. So there was a whole show without a champion. This is classic Vince who came up with this genius. This is why his old ass used to sit down. But that left Raw, their flagship show, without a champion. So they created this new title, which means technically there's 3 world championships in this company. One company, 3 world championships. And they made Seth Rollins the champion, earned it in the tournament. But this is supposed to be like the working man title. So while Roman might wrestle once every 2-3 months, Seth Rollins was defending it. At one point, I think he defended it on like Raw, NXT, and a pay-per-view.
Yes.
Like, they've been working this man like an indentured servant. Like, I expect them to come out like swing low and giving them real, like, Roots vibes. He gets hurt in a match against a guy who Tony Khan was like, what the hell? Why does this guy even have it? The guy was gone for, I don't know, months on end. He's the bottom of the barrel as far as, where he is. And they throw him into this match and he gets hurt, tears his knee up. Now could potentially miss the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. So I was saying, should they strip it? If this guy's going to be gone for 4 months, we already got Roman not defending this title. Now we got Seth not being able to defend this title. Like, do you think they should have stripped this guy, or should they have just let him keep the belt and let him heal up for the next couple of months?
After listening to your story, I think they should strip him. But man, we got something more pressing going on. That promo that you just played was horrible. Like, I was gonna watch again, but I'm good, man. Like, that's Dusty Rhodes' son or like grandson. That was horrible. He talks like Daffy Duck. Like, the crowd was bored. There was no energy. They were like talking like they were at Starbucks. That was probably the worst thing I watched all year. Like, they bring that to Netflix?
But this is why I like someone who doesn't watch it regularly on the show, because this is what WWE has to look out for. You see, me and Gerald were, oh my God, Inside Baseball, there are all these references in here.
We knew the nuances.
Right. Someone that just came off the street, who hasn't seen it in a while. You're used to like the coked up era where like everybody was high on coke, like Macho Man.
Yeah, I'll bring that back.
But those interviews were exciting because Hulk Hogan was like, brother, what you gonna do when I come down and put the 24-inch pythons on you, brother? And Hulkamania, Ultimate Warrior, like walking around like the inequities of the righteous man, and those big, larger-than-life promos that really made no sense. Seth Rollins and CM Punk are very conversational with their promos. They talk like you and I having a regular conversation. So I could totally see where you'd be like, what the hell are these dudes talking about?
There was no insults. He was like, you're the best. Oh, you're the best. Like, your eyes look better.
And the promo got cut short. Because they did insult each other. They got face to face a little bit, but the bulk of the promo was gone. But he did say he's technically the American Dream because his dad was an electrician, and then Cody said something. Well, I picked up after you left and quit wrestling, so I'm more CM Punk. It's more. It's a lot. It's okay.
They did bring it home. I can assure you, they did bring it home. But I could see it was over 6 minutes, just that particular clip, and there was probably 2 minutes to go. I could see where one might have checked out after the first 46 seconds. These guys saying, "Your dad called me and told me to look out for you." And
so I'm gonna tell on Kyle real quick. He was good until Cody said no love. When he said that, he was out there. He didn't care. He stopped caring. I told you. He hit him with the Denzel scratch of the eye.
You motherfucker. Oh,
horrible. Like, the old WWE, he would have insulted his dad or something. He was like, man, your dad ain't crap. And then it would have been a big fight. But now he's like, I'm supposed to look out for you, and I'm going to try to find you. And the dude starts saying all these big words coming to WWE. Like, simplified. Make it simple for somebody that's drinking the beer, that's just channel surfing, want to see some action. Nobody want to see all this talking, man. They need to get back in the light. I hope that the new WWE is not like this with all this soft
Well,
communication.
there's gonna be a lot more cussing going on. I can assure you that.
We might have to make Kyle might like the AEW better because there is no talking. It's just like don't come on and they just fighting in the middle of the ring. You're like, oh shit.
Somebody always bleeding.
Poor John Moxley. I know he's got to take an iron supplement because that man, as soon as the match started, he just got blood pouring.
Yes.
I'm like, how you get hurt? All he did was say ding ding. He's like,
I want my wrestlers to have CTE. That's what Cal be saying.
Yeah, man, like
concussion protocol.
The crowd was bored. See, I get energized by the crowd, and they were in it when CM Punk was talking, and then when that Rhodes dude started talking, they were just looking through their phone, just doing everything else. People sitting down.
so
he's also the face of their video game. You missed. Oh man, this is live.
He's the face of the next WWE 2K24. So my early question is stripping. I agree with both of y'all. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to raise the stakes for the Royal Rumble. I would have made, if they gave me the pin and they said, all right, Marz, you're the Booker man, I would have made the winner of the Royal Rumble, instead of getting a shot at WrestleMania, becomes the world champ. Oh. So we open it up, and then that allows you to have CM Punk win it. CM Punk now has the world championship. He has his main event at WrestleMania, and now we're seeing who's coming to get CM Punk. And if Seth Rollins is healthy in time, boom, he works his way and earns his way to get his rematch or thrown in a triple threat. If he's not, that gives you an opportunity to throw in a Drew McIntyre, maybe a Cody Rhodes, especially if The Rock decides to bogart his way into the main event. It gives you a little bit more flexibility because honestly, a torn MCL and a torn meniscus, I don't see how he's going to be back by April.
No.
I don't care how much rehab you do. Like, it's not like he's coming back to play golf. He's coming back to do 360 spins off the top ropes and slam down. And is it the same knee? Does anyone know if it's the same knee that he injured a few years ago?
Nah, I'm not sure which knee it is.
I don't know if that's better or worse if it's the same knee. It might be worse because now you got two bad legs.
So check this out. What you said is true. I take a step further. If they're gonna fight for the championship, let CM Punk win the Royal Rumble, and then during what's the Elimination Chamber match, go to Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, all of them going to the chamber to see who's gonna fight CM Punk for the belt at WrestleMania. The winner of that match, whether it be Cody, Drew, or whoever they fight, because again, it's about the potential for The Rock and Roman to be fighting at WrestleMania. You got to have a match that's going to match that. Because even if The Rock is 51 and ain't really going to move like that in the ring, it's the storytelling alone. Roman can carry The Rock. It'll be fine. But if Seth comes back, now you're talking about a storyline that has real world implications in it. If CM Punk is the champion and Seth Rollins come back, now you got a match that potentially SummerSlam that rivals any Roman match that you could have. Because Seth Rollins don't like CM Punk the man for real. And so it's definitely going to bleed into the storyline. That's the stuff Cal wants. He won't grab the microphone and be like, your kids ain't shit. Your mama cross-eyed. Your grandma got a wooden leg.
Yeah, like, I think you just said something that put me in shock. I'm still trying to get out of this. I don't know if I heard this right. Did you say a main event with The Rock in it? What am I doing? Like, The Rock, I'm 40. The Rock been out since I was a teenager. And the WWE still haven't raised up enough stars where The Rock is not, like, still the main event. It reminds me of action heroes in Hollywood. Like, we're still going to Liam Neeson and The Rock. Well, it's sad, man. It is.
So, if 81-year-old Indiana Jones can come back, 51-year-old Rock can come back.
But ain't nobody really watching Indiana Jones movie. The dollar definitely was stupid. I tried to watch it on the plane 3 or 4 times and fell asleep first 15 minutes. The best night I ever had. But let's get back to it. So the reason why they're doing this, Cal, The Rock is one of the biggest actors on the planet, and Roman has literally beaten everyone. He hasn't lost that belt in 3 years, Cal. That's why he's had that belt for 3 years.
Yeah, this will be like his 5th straight WrestleMania as the champ.
But nobody else can. I mean, that shows the state of affairs. There, you got the same guy that got a headline. That just wouldn't have happened back in the days where you got Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. They had Kane, Big Show. There was so many big stars that one person couldn't headline something for 5 years in a row. So they need to go back to the drawing board and see why they're not developing these stars and just riding one person coattails for 5 years. Because that's kind of dangerous. What if he get injured? Then who you gonna bring in
the thing is, yeah, and they actually have more stars now because they have 2 separate rosters. If you would have combined it to one roster, it would be nothing but stars. So they actually have a deep roster, but at the end of the day, it's box office. And if you can, it's like if you could get Tom Cruise to come be in your match. Of course, he can't wrestle. But damn it, it's Tom Cruise. The eyes that it's going to bring to the product, it's priceless. Plus, and something that Gerald left out, The Rock and Roman Reigns are real life cousins. They're actually related.
I have heard that.
So it actually.
So check this out, Marz. You want me to blow his mind? Want me to ruin it? He was thinking about WrestlePhobia and want me to ruin it?
Do it.
The rookie wrestler of the year last year for the WWE had to be Logan Paul. Oh, come back. Let me ruin you some more. Come on back. Let me ruin it for you a little more.
Giggity.
But two of the biggest matches last year included wrestlers. Logan Paul was in one, and Bad Bunny was in the other one. So let me go ahead and put it out of his misery. Logan Paul, as a standing right now, is in a match on Saturday because he's the United States champion. He beat Rey Mysterio for the belt months ago. Yeah. He beat Yes.
And you want another layer, Kyle? The biggest bad guy in the company is Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic Mysterio. And the biggest. Do you remember K Quick that used to be with the Road Dog, the really dark skin? He's the most he's 53, and he's the most popular guy on the roster named R-Truth. He's
the biggest babyface in the company. He is the biggest merch seller in the company.
Another one.
R-Truth.
They just got $5 billion. Man.
Well, that shows you, if you guys want to invest in the Marz Media Empire, we will sell all of our shows for $1 billion, and we will split them, but we'll take on the shows.
Man. Rey Mysterio.
I don't know why I played that after Rey Mysterio, Paul.
Damn.
But this brings me to the second part of my question. So, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I didn't even have this on my radar. But unlike Cal, after I saw the promo, I actually wanted to see this match. If Seth Rollins is not healthy, can Triple H give Tony Khan the biggest middle finger and put the 2 biggest stars that he lost in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania for the world title? And does that ruin Cody Rhodes' story? Because it's all about the WWE title.
Yes, because he has to lose. If CM Punk is the champion and he has to face CM Punk at WrestleMania. CM Punk must win. Cody cannot lose. Cody cannot win that title because finishing his story requires him to be Roman.
Right.
If he wins that title, the only thing they're going to say about the story is you left to be the B champion. No one saw CM Punk come back to wrestling after he got fired from AEW, but he did. That is the ultimate middle finger. But it also means Cody has to sit back and watch a 51-year-old Rock fight his match. He has to lose and hope to stay healthy next year to hopefully get be in WrestleMania again and be whoever the champion is.
So I don't think Cody. I like that. I like everything you said. I don't think Cody goes to WrestleMania again, however, and wins the title. I think what happens, if this happens, CM Punk versus Cody, you're absolutely right. CM Punk has to win that title. He can set it up for Seth Rollins when he comes back for that match that we wanted. Then, during the summer, that's when Roman would cross that record of Hulk Hogan for the longest reign of the title. That SummerSlam, you drop it to Cody, you do your draft like they do after WrestleMania, you get Cody on over to SmackDown, and then you build from that draft to SummerSlam, and then you let Roman ride off in the sunset. He gets the record, Cody finishes his story. It's a win-win situation because they're going to have to split some of this talent over from Raw to SmackDown because you can't just have all the stars on one show. So I think that is a possible path to Cody finishing the story.
Yeah, like y'all still talking about the Rock fighting in the match. I don't care.
I'm definitely not watching. These dudes older than us. I'm not watching these matches.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. Like I said, that's why I love having someone who doesn't really look. Because when you said that, I started feeling bad. I'm like, hold on, Rey Mysterio. I remember when Kevin Nash threw him as a dart in 1996 into the side of that trailer.
But didn't we talk about this in high school? And now we're in our 40s still talking about Rey Mysterio and The Rock? Like,
there was like 2 years in high school when I just wore my shirt bust open like The Rock. And now I'm a 43-year-old man.
Oh, you want me to? Hey, listen. And so then that brings me to this. Another reason AEW won't ever kiss WWE or be considered true competition. Guess who they signed last year?
ooh, it's the
And it's like all six. Yes, Ric Flair.
I thought I was glanced by that story one day. I didn't think that was real. I'm not even reading this.
Yeah, it's real.
Ric Flair said
he's got
one more match.
Yep. And so there's another wrestler whose last match is going to be this year in AEW. You may know him as the Icon, Sting. This will be his final match.
He has makeup on. You can't tell how old he is.
No, Ric Flair got a bad heart.
Yeah, Ric Flair's got a lot of things.
He's going to be in Sting's corner, though. You know it's going to be an elbow drop of anything.
Yeah, he'll probably take his pants off and elbow his suit jacket or something.
What? I thought AEW was doing good when they first came out, right? Because I heard they was giving WWE a push.
Yeah, they were hot, but they as Big Gerald said earlier, they made every mistake. They literally had the map and they were like, nah, I'm going to freestyle this. And they made every mistake that they weren't supposed to make. So
their owner talked about Vince McMahon and how he used the WWE as his own playpen and then turned around and has literally in all these years done the same thing. He keeps what he want to keep. He brings in all these people, never uses them. One of the best wrestlers on the planet, his name is Keith Lee. He's been on that roster, and I think he's fought 4 matches.
If that. People show up Spanish for months, like Miro, just disappeared for months with no rhyme, no reason. They had a ranking system, then they got rid of the ranking system. There's hardly any stories. Everybody bleeds. Women, I've seen some reckless stuff. Chris Jericho is still wrestling over there, Kyle.
Hey, guess who the best commentator is?
Ooh, Hardy Boys.
They're still wrestling too.
They're wrestling over there. It's funny.
Did they have a retirement plan in wrestling or something?
Man, look, the greatest in-ring announcer for AEW, or the best commentator for AEW, is good old JR.
Remember, my God, Stone Cold.
Yes. Jimmy Ross.
Jim Ross is still doing commentary.
Is he with Jerry Lawler?
No, Jerry
Lawler. No, he's with Taz.
Who?
Taz.
That's another corporate.
With the mohawk? The wrestler Taz.
Oh, with animals?
It was really, with the mohawk. Used to come out, do all the suplexes. Yeah.
And I forgot about all those old heads over in AEW that still. In fact, Sting. I'm going to send you some clips of Sting jumping off of like buildings into tables at 60-something years old. It's going to bring you back into the fold, or make you turn away quicker than that for one of the two.
Speaking of tables, is WWE still around?
No, they got purchased by WWE.
But Booker T was in the Royal Rumble last year, so.
Hey, Booker T had one of the best commercials ever. Hungry man dinners, a pound of food men love. Now can you dig that, sucker?
We coming for you, nigga.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, trying to hold that laugh in. Good old Harlem Heat.
Old Stevie Ray.
Yeah, boy.
We always have a dance break every now and then. But that I think that's it for today. But overall, Royal Rumble time. I'm so excited. This episode, we're giving y'all a double banger. So we're gonna have the Royal Rumble episode, and then this episode right after Royal Rumble. So we're giving y'all more bang for y'all buck with this 2-episode debut. But we got to get the hell up out of here. So I want to thank my crew, my stable, my faction right here. The three the hard way, 3-man wrecking crew. Kyle, brother, you're welcome anytime. We appreciate
absolutely.
I would never be back up here. Until some of these people retire, man.
They never retire. They just die in the ring. I feel really bad that there's so many of these wrestlers from the 90s that's still in the business. But I'm like, did they not save their money? Did they have a 401k or something? My wise man, my counsel, Big Gerald. Thank you again, brother, for joining me on this faithful journey for another episode. I appreciate you. And of course, it's your boy Marz. Guys, please let the people know where they can find you and what you got going on besides us laughing at Rey Mysterio still wrestling in 2024.
Well, it's your boy Big here. You catch me on Facebook at Gerald Williams, of course, Leroy J1117 on Instagram, Christian Mingles. We always going up. And catch me hanging out with my bros. Oh man, it's been great. I was looking forward to this today. Now when I watch the Royal Rumble, I'll be thinking about what Cal said, because I know there's going to be some wrestler from back in the gap. And I'm going to have to record it and send it to me.
Like, look, Cal's Nikita Koloff. People
like, Cal Jones 813 on TikTok, Instagram. Keeping up with the Cal Joneses. Man, y'all done messed me up with these old people today. The Den. We're gonna drop. I hope we drop some Saturday morning. I want to do an episode of Blow the Whistle, All Punishment. We everywhere.
Absolutely. And of course, guys, if you want to get great merch to support the podcast, please copy that link, put it in your search bar, and check out some of the great merch. You see Kyle rocking the classic Down in the Den After Dark shirt. You see I got this nifty mug with my mug on the mug. We've got more fresh gear coming in. So get this Series 1 gear before it ends in March. All new line. So if you got one of the old school shirts and you take a picture of it and send it to us, we might send you a prize. Who knows? But guys, as always, we thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of the Horseman Podcast with my brother Big Gerald and special guest, the one and only Kyle Jones. We hope you guys enjoyed the Royal Rumble. If you're looking at this, Royal Rumble is over. Check our picks episode that came out before this. And we'll be back next week with more pro wrestling content. And remember, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
We coming for you, nigga.
Come on, T.
Yeah.